Why don't we talk to a guy who actually didn't need to be traded for anything because he made the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, like anytime you can be joined by a member of the NFL Hall of Fame class 1996, member of more important team, Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. So much fun to be joined by Mel Renfro. Mel, thanks for giving us a few minutes today.
Glad to be here. Always willing to help, and especially with a great friend Mike Ditka and what he's done so much over the years. Glad to be a part of it.
Well, so Mel, let's start with that. We've had some of your other fellow alumni who've been part of the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. What drew you to it, and what do you see as the biggest thing that still needs to be done as part of this fund and part of taking care of the previous classes of NFL players?
Well, back in my day, and Mike Ditka, when we were starting out, there wasn't the great big contracts, the great deals of money that the players made, and the players weren't really taken care of, and a lot of guys were unable to pay their rent and weren't able to take care of their medical needs, and that was so much well needed. So now, with the need for it, and Mike stood up and created the Gridiron Greats and provide an avenue and to raise funds where these guys could come and request monies to take care of those needs, which was very much needed. And it's grown, and with the Pork Rinds people being a part of this effort, it's just blossomed. And I've been a part of it since the beginning, and still a part of it. And I'm glad to participate and help in any way that I can.
Why do you think it is so hard to get the NFL and NFLPA to support your generation of the players that you have to turn to these efforts?
That's a question I am asked all the time, and the answer that comes to me is they just won't. It's kind of ridiculous that they make such tremendous amounts of money. I mean, and you can pay a guy millions and millions of dollars a year, and you can't lend a hand to a poor guy who has medical needs, financial needs, who never made $100,000 a year. I don't know. It's the powers that be. The owners make so much money, and they're in control of it. They were in control of it when I was playing. They're pretty much in control of it now. It's just a question mark that might always be there. But, if we can do what we can as former players and, guys like Mike Ditka that know what the need is and know how to get in there and get the guys to work together and getting people to donate. It'll be a great day for those people, those guys, players that are in need.
Mel, we talked to Keyshawn Johnson a couple of weeks ago about, I don't know if you've seen the book, The Forgotten First. It was about the first four African-American football players in the NFL. And as we were reading about that and talking about that, I was looking into some other things. And one of the things that came up was your important role in the NFL and in Dallas with regard to fair housing. You seem like somebody who is willing to use your platform to tackle important issues. What made you decide to get involved in that issue and to decide that you were going to use the platform you had as an NFL player to tackle these issues?
Well, at the time I may have been a little bit crazy and not really knowing what was going to come out of it. I was came from Portland, Oregon, and it hadn't been, hadn't been touched with the depth of some of the racism and that type of thing. So I stood up when something happened, and bang, I got slapped. But I survived it. What I did was the right thing to do, and from what I heard later, I got many phone calls and many people that told me how much they appreciated what I had done and how much I helped their cause. and them getting what they needed to get done because of the things how I stepped forward and did and said the things I did, and I won't regret it. And you hope more players will do the same thing, and guys like Mike Ditka that goes so far back and with such a big name has done so much for so many causes, and with the gridiron greats and the Pork Rind situation, it's just one part of what is a great need as far as moving the effort forward to help these indigent players that have medical problems and financial problems.
You talk about taking a stand and using your platform and doing the right thing. We talk with athletes about that all the time. And in your Hall of Fame speech, you talked about helping young people, and you said athletes need to be role models. We need to present an image of people who want to do the right thing. Can you talk about how you did that, and then what advice you would give athletes of today who are trying to make their own way and figure out how they can use the platform that they have to make an impact?
Well, you always have to take the position of leadership, and in doing that, always do the right thing, always say the right thing, always when you're in a group and you have a platform, it's always what is the right thing to do. It's not about greed. It's not about an abundance of money. It's not about being first. It's all about teamwork. It's all about togetherness. It's all about having each other's back, and it's all about working hard, and it's all about consistency and staying together. And one great thing about the Cowboys was a lot of the players stayed together and played together for so long, got to know each other very well, and that's why we were so successful, because we knew each other and we had each other's back. And I think that's what it takes nowadays for players to really form strong relationships and stand together, no matter what it is that's out there. Work together, stand together, play together, and be a team.
And before we talk a little bit more about Pork Rind Appreciation Day and what you're doing for Gridiron Greats one more time, I had a question about early in your career. And as I was reading about you, I saw that despite the fact that you were a great defensive back, you were moved to running back, only to have Dan Reeves replace you, and then you went back to the place that you had made your bread and butter and became a Hall of Famer. What was that moment like when they came to you and said, "We want you to switch positions, and by the way, we're going to have you switch back"?
Well, Coach Landry was a great innovator in many ways in defense, offense. Well, during my first 3 years, I ran back punts and kickoffs and actually led the league. And I gained more yards than our running back carrying the football. And he said, well, let's use this as a weapon on offense. But unfortunately, my third year, as I started offense, I broke my foot first game, first quarter, and was never really to recover from that foot injury. And, of course, Dan Reeves came in and did a tremendous job. And, of course, me, being versatile as I was, as soon as my injury healed, I got back on defense and just started played, and still made the Pro Bowl. Missed 6 games, but made the Pro Bowl, intercepting passes, making the defense better. And, of course, playing defense, I think, prolonged my career a lot more years, because it's a lot easier to go hit a guy than, every time you touch the ball, that 11 guys coming at you. So no regrets there. I loved offense and defense, but I think playing defense prolonged my career. But nevertheless, I was a guy that liked to carry the football. And but after, when I look at the big scheme of things and the big picture, it all turned out, the way I think God meant for it to be. And being in the Hall of Fame is just probably the greatest thing that could happen to any football player. So I look back on it with fond memories and just congratulate all those new inductees that are coming in, and they're going to know what it feels like. Just as soon as they get there and they get that ring, which they just received, they know what the feeling is, and they're going to pass that feeling on to their friends and former teammates.
I could ask you about what that feels like all day, but more importantly, I got to ask you about Pork Rind Appreciation Day and how people can help out the fellow alumni that you guys are looking to support.
Well, those things are addicting. They're delicious for one thing, and they're they're high in protein, low in carbs, and they're healthy for you. And you can sit and just nibble on those things, and they're doing good. You're contributing to a good cause, a good charity, and enjoying a healthy food. I think that's that no better thing to do on a football Sunday than to watch a football game and eat pork rinds.
Well, we encourage people to go out and get some pork rinds, support the NFL alumni, and all you guys are doing with the Gridiron Greats effort with Coach Dicka. Thank you so much for the time, and look forward to seeing what you guys are able to do to help out.
You're certainly welcome. Glad to be on the show.